Dear America, and all the Democrats, and all, especially the ones who are protesting the death of George Floyd and the other people in the last 4 years. I want to tell you why you are so confused about race relations, and I also want to tell you why you're so confused about uh, Persian people or Iranian people and Cyrus the Great people. Uh, and the reason why you're wondering what a Judas is and who Cyrus the Great is. You're wondering that because I started asking the people in Iran, the men, to protect the women and go out and protest without chadors on their heads, or go sit somewhere without chadors on their heads. And I also made some songs and some videos, and they were very popular, and told them that Donald Trump had my back, because I didn't say that Donald Trump had it, I said the world would have their back, and if they would see that Islam isn't a peaceful religion, and if that the people didn't wear headscarves, uh, Islam would show if it's peaceful or not by how they conduct the police to deal with those people. Suddenly I started having attacks on my ears, attacks on my brain, attacks on my eyes, attacks on my heart, attacks on everywhere in my body, and they all kept asking me to how do I outshine them, trying to make me watch the news and do all sorts of stuff like watch the news all the time. And what I saw was your country full of black people, and hearing voices from your country and black people telling me that I'm Cyrus the Great, or I'm Cyrus the Travesty, and I think I'm better than everybody, and that I think that or that you guys are. I think that I'm better than everyone because of my race, and that also I wanted to bring slavery to black people or something like that, and that Art 4 was a plot for me to do that, to take my country back, because the only country I wanted was some sort of slave country. And that's, I think, what I was trying to tell my people in Iran. I was trying to get my people in Iran to be free of simple things like forced hijab, and also forced anti-expression of arts, or anti-freedom of speech. And I was doing something that people were on all over Facebook, they were watching by the hundreds of thousands, and on YouTube as well, before they took my videos down. Those protests started, but then somebody started telling you people, and then the pandemic started. Okay, then the pandemic started, and I had my uncle and I had a show called Art 4, which was supposed to be in New York. It was scheduled to be in New York January 1st or February 1st or March 1st of the same year that the pandemic started, and it was supposed to be held at the United Nations building. But this pandemic started, and I don't think you guys remember how much the people in Iran were protesting for freedom. Then you guys started blaming people like me for not being a good guitar, not wanting to play his guitar enough, or that wanting to be a racist, wanting to bring slavery to America. And that, combined with a police shooting, made you people start rioting and burning up the whole country, and having everybody telling everybody that's what their shire is and all this other stuff. We personally don't know where it's coming from, but I can tell you one thing's for sure, that as far as me being Iranian and wanting freedom for my country, that has nothing to do with putting black people in America back to slavery. That has nothing to do with me being racist or any of the Iranian people being racist. It has simple things to do with slavery of human rights and slavery of not being allowed to live freely in our country, and wanting to change that. And certain forces from your country getting people to think differently about it and try to keep control on the whole world and keep doing the same things it's been doing for the last 20 years. What I mean by that is that I love to see change in Iran, but if the last 20 years means more war, then that means the whole world continues to be brainwashed, and it continues to be hateful, and it continues to be stupid and uneducated by the same people who you should be protesting, who you were protesting. But those people that think that are doing all this and doing all the wars to bring slavery back, or whatever it is, those are not the people who are calling for Cyrus the Great to bring human rights freedoms and free speech freedoms and free art freedoms to the country of Iran, and to get rid of the forced hijab freedoms. Those are not the same people. We do have differences, but my side of people has more of respect for respect for human life than to ask to do it in the same way that we've been doing it. I mean, with what you see in Iraq or in Afghanistan. I have a plan to bring a solid leader, a responsible kind of artistic person to the United States. And for 20 years, his visa has been blocked. He is a great artist, and he hasn't been allowed to be in the United States simply because of the fact that they don't want Iranians to look like great artists. They had this plan to make Iranians look like terrorists this whole time, this whole thing. And yeah, I call myself the Shah of Iran. Well, I don't have any respect for anybody except for myself, and freedom of human rights, and freedom of people to have even socialist policies in their countries, and for my uncle to be able to freely make movies without being blacklisted in Hollywood, which has been the situation since 2000 or 2001, since after 2001, where everyone started becoming so serious about war on terrorism, which, as you see, is truly a stupid idea. It's the stupidest idea in the whole world, because it uses bombs, bullets, and lies to deny, to make the whole world scared. And it raises gun violence. Even in the USA, it raises gun violence rates. In Iraq, it raises gun violence rates. In Afghanistan, it raises gun violence rates. The simple solution for today is, right now, my uncle, the person that was supposed to be an artist, was supposed to make movies and do art projects in the United States, is in jail for simply drawing on money. Simply for drawing on money. That's what he's in jail for right now. And his YouTube videos with over 200 million clicks and 200 million views was taken down the same week that Joe Biden came into office. And it's very concerning, because it's very ironic, because a couple of those videos was his candidacy for presidency of Iran, which is which he was a candidate for, and Iran is now getting ready for elections. And here in a Western country, in Germany, he's been put in jail simply for wanting to do an art project, and simply for drawing on money. I mean, the rules for people like me cannot get any stupider. For me to even ask for freedoms in my country, and to try and make simple, small changes in my country, people like you they tell people like you to start rioting so they can stop people like Trump, who sold my soul to all of Hollywood, or to people like Obama, who ignored me, and to people like the Islamic regime, who tortures prisoners for listening to music or other stuff, and ignores the reality of the Iranian people, which want more human rights, more freedom, and more recognition for true Iranian culture, which has nothing to do with which has nothing to do with chador. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with that simple thing. It also has more to do with being able to like any political group that they like, whether it be music from ancient Persia or now, or whatever the Islamic regime hated before the revolution. This can't be going on without a clear solution. For the last 4 years, I was very confused because I thought Trump or Netanyahu had our backs, and for the first year, I tried as hard as I could to support freedoms for my people inside Iran. But those two administrations turned their backs on me, and they ignored me completely, and they made me look like a fool. Not like a fool, but they made me feel like a terrorist. They made me feel like a rapist. They made me feel like so many horrible things. And someone poisoned me. Someone did something to me terribly, and they're still doing it to me, where I can't even get out of bed. I can't walk. I can't open my eyes. I can't do anything. And what I am is a drawer. I paint. I have artworks. I have movies. So does my uncle. For the last 4 years, since this guy's been in office, I've been constantly under threat for walking, for talking, for drawing. I haven't been able to do anything. I've had these horrible pains in my head and my ears and my eyes. I can't even get out of bed. I can't even speak. I keep hearing messages about how everybody is upset at me for doing the most the craziest things that I'm hearing, and everywhere I go, people are following me and telling me. Now I know where my shire is and who's the Shah of Iran and all this stuff, and telling me that I'm a terrorist, telling me I'm Prophet Muhammad, telling me QAnon and the U.S. Army is not going to let me go to sleep. They're not going to let me masturbate, because every time I masturbate, people, that's how I hit people. This whole thing is Trump and his administration. They had no right to even be in politics. And I don't even know if it's them. It could be the previous 4 presidents. I have no idea what's going on with my life. I just have to be honest with the people of Iran. I have to be honest with the people of America, that I am not who these people are spreading all these messages say about me. That's not who I am. So if you are aware of what I'm talking about, you can either help me, or you can choose to be somebody who continues to let the broken American system or the fascist systems of the world continue to oppress us with fear and with terror and with war and with wrong sides and right sides, which weren't happening before 2001, which was one single isolated event, which to me seems like an inside job set up to purposely destroy a part of the world who never threatened anybody and never had anything against anybody. And that started also, I think one of the main reasons for that was for money, and another reason was for power. And I just want everyone to know how great of a filmmaker and a filmmaker my uncle is, and I think that's why they created the 2001 and the War on Terror. And I don't give a damn about Khamenei or the regime change in Iran, because the most serious thing is that right now, I don't know why he's in jail just for artworks and for saying he wants to be a president of a country who needs a new leader. And Iranian people are sick and tired of being called terrorists. We're sick and tired of being called viruses. We're sick and tired of saying that we don't stand up for people. We're sick and tired of people saying that, oh, we thought you wanted your country back. Oh, we thought you wanted this back. We thought that. We're sick and tired of doing it QAnon's way. We're sick and tired of doing it QAnon's way. We want to do it a better way. We want to do it away with a chance. We want to do it away with bringing people together. Maybe that's the Dariush Shokov way. To use art as a way to bring people together, to show change in USA, to show change from USA with an Iranian artist, so that everybody in Iran can see how different, and everybody in the world can see how different our people are from the leaders that run the globalist fascist societies, capitalist or communist, that are destroying the youth, destroying our minds, destroying the people, destroying the culture, destroying the earth, destroying everything with repression and tactics from police and repression from governments and militaries who follow orders, and artists who are in Hollywood, who I think ignore people like me who are better artists. And regime change is not even, I don't give a damn about any countries having regime change. I think, honestly now, I feel like the people in Russia or Europe or Asia are more peaceful and thoughtful than any of the people in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. So I'm signing off, and I'm leaving you with these things to think about.